Okay, so we're correcting the second half of the benchmark. Looking at number 21, I want y'all to look at the question and see if you can find the clue word. So here it says a segment's graphed on the grid. It didn't give you any clue. But look right in here. What clue word do you see? Say it loud. Function. So I know right there that I am looking for something to do with a function. Now, before I read the question, what do we know about functions? The x cannot repeat. Yes. And if I have a graph, I do a, what's this called? Vertical line test. Now let's read the question. Points will be plotted on the grid with the segment to show it as a function. Which ordered pairs can be added to the grid to show it as a function? How many answers are going to be correct? So 2 answers are going to be correct. Now, to do a function, you perform a vertical line test. If I did a vertical line test right here, how many times would it touch? So is this a function right now? Yes. They're saying if I add these points, which 2 can I add to keep it a function? Well, let's go look at the first one, 3, -6. So you got to go graph 3, -6. So take your pencil, go to 3 on the x-axis, go down to -6. If I put that point there, would that keep it a function? Meaning I do a vertical line test, how many times would it touch? Once. How many times would it touch here? Once. So would this point keep it a function? Yes. Let's try the next one. -1, 6. So everybody go to your graph, go to -1 on the x-axis, go up to 6, put a dot. Would that keep it a function? No. Why not? If I do a vertical line, it is now touching how many times? Twice. So this one is no. Okay, look at the next question. 1, -6. Here's 1, here's -6. Would that keep it a function? So everybody look, if I draw a vertical line, it touched here, and it would touch here. So yes or no? No. 0, 2. So on the x-axis, go to 0, go up to 2. Would that keep it a function? No. Why? If I do a vertical line, how many times is it going to touch? Twice. So no. And the last one has to be it, but let's check it. -2, 4. So go to -2 on the x-axis, go up to 4. Would that keep it a function? Yes. Why? Because if I draw a vertical line, it's only touching once. So those were your 2 answers. Number 22, you should not have missed this question. Number 22 says 2 points are shown on a coordinate grid. Which measurement is closest to the, what word do y'all see? Okay, now if we look at our star chart, where do we write distance every day? Next to what? Pythagorean theorem. So what do you think I need to draw out of these 2 points? A right triangle. So I go drop a line, and I need to go perfectly even with this dot. Then I connect it. I don't see everybody going with me. And then I'm going to connect K to L. And that's the distance they want. Where is the right angle? Right here. So what side am I looking for? Side C. Can I count side C? No. Why not? It's a diagonal. Can I count this side? Yes, so this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. And this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. And I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to do 5 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. Do I add or do I subtract? Add. Why? Because I'm solving for C and I can add 5 squared plus 5 squared. So I go to my calculator. 5 squared plus 5 squared is 50. Is that my answer, or do I need to take one step further? What's my last step? Square root my answer. So the square root of 50 is 7.07. So which answer is closest? A. If you missed that question, you need to do some self-evaluating because that's one of those easy give me ones that we shouldn't miss. Okay? Number 23. Who can tell me the clue word and it's on our star chart? Okay, proportional and directly proportional. So if you look on your star chart, right here it says direct, and what do we write next to it? And what do I have? If it says those words, you can make a proportional box. Okay? So it says the value of y is directly proportional to x. When x is 3/4, y is 56 1/4. What is y when x is 1/2? So I'm going to make a box. And we draw it every day on our star chart. What do we put on top? The y. So let's go make a box. You can just put it right here. I'm going to put y on top, x on bottom. It says when x is 3/4, so where's 3/4 going to go? On the bottom with x. Y is 56 1/4, so 56 1/4. What is y when x is 1/2? So 1/2 has to go with x. How do I solve this? Cross multiply, then divide. So I'm going to cross multiply these two. So get your calculator. Use alpha y equals option 2. 56 1/4 times 1/2. Enter. And then I'm going to divide by the leftover number, which is 3/4. So just hit divided by alpha y equals 3/4. What did I get? 75 halves. Well, what do I need to change that to? A decimal. So math, decimal, enter. 37.5. Which one of these has a value of 37.5? B. That is 37 and a half is 0.5. Number 24. That was another one that you really shouldn't miss, okay? Number 24. What clue word do you see just by scanning? Don't even read the question, scan it. And what clue word do you see? Simple interest. So before I do anything, I'm not even going to read the question yet. I'm going to go to my star chart, find simple interest, and write the formula down. What is the formula? I equals PRT. Then I'm going to ask myself, what does this formula solve for? Interest. Now let's read the question. A deposit of $7,912 is made into a new account. It earns 5.75% simple interest. No additional deposits or withdrawals will be made for 2 years. Which amount is closest to the balance? What does balance mean? Interest or total? Total. Does this equation give me the total? No. So I'm going to use it, and then look what we write on our star chart. After I use it, what am I going to do? I'm going to add. All right, so here we go. I need the P, 7,912 times the R. What do I have to change this percent to? By putting it over 100, or moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So 0.0575 times how many years? 2. So I'm going to go put that in my calculator. $909.88. That is not the answer. That is the interest. They want the total balance. Well, how much did they start with in the account? 7,912. So I have to add 7,912 to this, and that will tell me the total. So I take my calculator and I add 7,912. It is $8,821.88. Which value is closest to this? C. That's another one you really shouldn't miss. You just follow the formula. And they didn't try to trick you by putting the answer to I equals PRT. Like they did not put the 909. Y'all see what I'm saying? So they didn't trick you. It's not a trick question. Number 25. Don't read it yet. Find the clue word. They even boxed it in for you. Total surface area. Now, They called it a toy box, so you have to know what this shape is. What is this? I heard somebody. A rectangular prism. So I'm going to go to my star chart to surface area of a prism. And they ask for the total. So I don't use this one, I use this one. So write down the formula pH plus 2B. Everybody should be writing it down. To use this formula, what do I need? A P, an H, and a B. Okay, now we're going to read the question just to make sure we didn't miss anything. It says a diagram of a toy box is shown. Its measurements are given in inches. What is the total surface area? All right. What did I tell y'all to do when you have a rectangular prism? Use the bottom it's sitting on as its base. So do y'all see the rectangle it's sitting on? It's right here. Yes? So how tall is it standing? 30. Once you write the height down, what do? Cross it out. You'll never use it again. How do you find P, perimeter of any shape? How many sides does this rectangle it's sitting on have? So I have to add 40 plus 40 plus 34 plus 34. So y'all put that in. Tell me what you get. 148. So we did 40 plus 40 plus 34 plus 34. What does big B mean? Area of the base. Where do I go for big B? Right here, big B. And our base is A. So I'm going to do length times width. So I'm going to do 34 times 30, which is 1,360. Now that I have all the pieces that I need, I simply plug them in to this formula. What does the formula say? P times H. So 148 times 30. What's the formula say next? Plus 2 times B, and B is 1,360. So we just go type that in our calculator. 7,160 inches squared. Now, you didn't have to write the inches squared. All you had to do was fill in on the test the 7160. That's another one we haven't done in a while, but y'all were really good at it when we did do it. So when we review it, hopefully that reminds you how to do those. Okay, number 26. What is the clue word? Don't read it, scan it. What's the clue word? Proportional. Now let's read it. Which equation represents a proportional relationship? So stop. We write it every day on our star chart. What does proportional not have in the equation? A plus B. Find the answer that doesn't have a plus or minus B. B and D. Do y'all agree? Okay, so we're going to have to pick. We're going to cross off A because it has a plus B, and we're going to cross off C because it has a plus 4. How would I pick between these two? Well, what do we know about graphs that are proportional? What do they have to pass through? The origin, right? Could I use my y equals button and see which one of these passes through the origin? Because I don't know between them. So I write, look, if I go to y equals, clear everything out, and I type in x over 2. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. X over 2, and I hit graph. Now, I'm zoomed in, so I can see, did that pass through the origin? So that's probably our answer. But now let's go check this one, y equals 5. And I hit graph. Did that pass through the origin? No. Guys, the origin is 0, 0 right here. It is not passed through. So there are other ways to check it. If you have 2 answers left and you don't know, use your calculator. B passes through the origin. All right, scan number 27. Find the clue word and tell me what it is. Scientific notation. So before I read it, where am I going to go in my calculator? Mode. And now what? SCI. Hit enter. And it says the radius of the planet Neptune is approximately 15,300 miles. How is this number written in scientific notation? So all I do is type it in. Do I type the comma? No. So I type in 15,300, and that's my answer. What does the E mean? It means times 10 with an exponent of 4. So what's the answer? C. Now, the way they presented this next question can be challenging, but y'all know how to do it. But before I move on, what do I need to do in this? Go back out of scientific, go back to normal. Okay, scan number 28 with your fingers. Scan it. Tell me the clue word. Dilated. Before we move on, look at the answers. They wrote the rules, yes? How do you find the rule of a dilation? New over old. Write that down. New over old. Now let's read it. It says you have this pentagon. Is this one new or is this one old? Old, because it doesn't have the primes. And did they give us both of the shapes? No. It says you have a pentagon and you dilate it to create a new pentagon. And this is the new one because it has the primes. Vertex R is located at 6,2. What rule describes the dilation? So we need a new and we need an old. What point did they give me? R. So I have to use the old R and the new R. Are y'all with me? This is the X or Y. What comes first in a coordinate, guys? The X. This is the X. This is the Y. Pick one. It doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, pick one. If you want to use 6, that's the X. Now go to the old R. Everybody find the old R right here. What is the X value of the old R? 9. So new, what's the new one? 6. What's the old one? Put it in your calculator and simplify. So alpha y equals 6 over 9. Simplifies to 2/3. So which answer has the rule 2/3 X, 2/3 Y? D. Okay, glance at the next one. Don't read anything. What do you see right away? Y'all saw the words, the clue words, slope and y-intercept, and you're right. But what do you see? What did they give you? A table. And where have I told you you can put tables in your calculator? Okay, then you scanned it and you saw the clue words were slope and y-intercept. And that just confirms you're going to use stat. So let's go to stat edit. I'm going to put in 5, 7, and 11 for my L1. 16.5, 21.5, and 31.5 for my L2. Now what do I put in? Stat, then what? Option?
4.
The first number is the slope. The second number is the y-intercept. So the slope is 2.5. The y-intercept is 4. That was way too easy. You should absolutely get that question correct. The next question is another one you have to get correct. Scan it. Don't read it. Just tell me what is the clue word. What are they asking you to do? Volume and what kind of shape? Cone. Don't even read it. Go to your star chart. Volume of a cone. What did we change the formula to? 1/3 pi r squared h. Write it down. Now we're going to read the question and see what else we need to do. It says a cone has a radius of 12, so the r is 12, and a height of 18. What is the volume of the cone in cubic centimeters? So now I'm just going to plug these in. So I have 1/3 times pi times the radius, which is 12 squared, times the height. Now, the first time I did this problem, I typed that in, and it did not give me the answer, and I'm going to explain. I want to show y'all. I'm going to type this in. Alpha y equals 1/3 times pi times 12 squared times 18. Did any of the answers say 2,714? No, but I know I did it correct. Now look at their answers closer. What do their answers contain in them? Every single one of them. That means they didn't type pi into their calculator, they just kept it as their answer. So leave pi out when you multiply, and multiply 1/3 times 12 squared times 18, and then leave pi attached, okay? So let's re-put that in. 1/3, leave pi out, times 12 squared times 18, and they're saying it's 864, but they kept pi attached to their answer. They're not saying pi isn't there, they just didn't type it in the calculator. Make sense? So the answer was C. Do y'all understand why we left pi out of the calculator? But we included it in our answer. All right, next question. Now, this one, I will say, was more challenging than any you've had, so I wasn't upset if you missed this one. Okay? It says and I scanned it, I did not see any clue words. Like, literally scan it. I saw fee, and that kind of helped me. Do y'all agree? Because remember what we said is a one-time fee? Y'all know that? So that's kind of a clue word. And then equation. What form are these in? Y equals mx plus b. So they had to have given us a slope and a y-intercept somehow. So that's the kind of clue I got from this. Then I read, a bakery delivers cookies to offices. The fee to deliver them is $5. Okay, well, let's talk about that. In y equals mx plus b, what is the m? What is the slope, also known as? The rate. What is the b? The y-intercept. What is it also known as? A starting amount, or a one-time fee. Did you see the one-time fee? What is the one-time fee they charge? $5. Which answer choice is the only one that has a one-time fee of $5? So it has to be A. Now, how did they get a slope of $1.25? They gave you two coordinates. Everybody look. The bakery charges a total of $20 for 12 cookies and $27.50 for 18 cookies. That is a coordinate, a table. You could have made a table. Which is always the Y? The cookies or the money? Money is always the Y. So it was $12.20 and $18.27.50. So you could have used stat and put these in, and it would have also given you this answer. Okay, number 33. Scan it. Tell me what clue words you see. Right triangle. Where do we say right triangle on our paper, our star chart every day? We draw it next to Pythagorean theorem. Okay, let's read it. It says, determine whether the triangle with each set of sides is a right triangle or not a right triangle. Move the correct answer to each box. So this is like a click and drag question. How do we tell if something's a right triangle? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're not solving. We're just saying yes or no. So how would I set up the first one? Somebody help me. Is 6 squared plus 8 squared equal to 9 squared? Yes or no? We got to go test it out. So get your calculator. 6 squared plus 8 squared is 100. Is 9 squared also 100? So what would I click and drag here? Not. Now we're going to write all of it. Just write not. Okay, somebody else set this one up for me. What would I put? 10 squared plus 24 squared equals 26 squared. Yes or no? Let's go test it out. Were they equal? So this one would be, it is a right triangle. Somebody else that I haven't heard from, help me set this one up. Good. Let's go test it out. 24 squared plus 45 squared, 51 squared. Are they equal? Yes, so this one was also a right triangle. You should not miss those. Do y'all agree? Those are easy. The next question you should absolutely not miss. Absolutely should not happen. Don't read it, scan it. Scan it. What's the clue word? Non-linear. What does linear mean? If I say something's linear, what am I saying? A straight line. So if it's non-linear, it's not a straight line. Which one of these does not form a straight line pattern? Guys, absolutely no way should you miss a question like that. It is literally the only one that's curving. Okay, take a second and scan number 35. I'm not saying read the whole thing, scan it. What clue word do you see? Rotated, counterclockwise, and how many degrees? What did I teach y'all about rotations? You have to do happy face man. So y'all look along with me. I take the back of my star chart and I draw happy face man. I do not turn my paper. I take my finger and I move it. How many spots is 270? 3. Like a clock or backwards from a clock? Counterclockwise means backwards. So a clock moves like this. Backwards would be this way. Does everybody agree? So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go 3 spots backwards. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to turn my paper till my happy face is in the bottom right. Everybody saw it? What happened? Did the X and Y switch spots? Yes. Which one's positive? Which one's negative? Y is positive because it's on the right. X is negative. So positive Y, negative X. Which one says it? I can't hear y'all. D. Everybody see, look at the second part. Positive Y, negative X. And I know, y'all, these aren't in order because I cut and pasted them just to make them condensed on a piece of paper. Okay? I'm going to let you scan it and tell me when you see the clue word. Proportional. Tell me about proportional. We just talked about it. It doesn't have a, and it passes through the origin. And then it said, which graph or table shows a proportional relationship? Well, both of these are proportional. Do y'all agree? Because they both pass through. So then I gotta read it. It says that represents the function y equals negative 2x. Tell me about negative 2. Is that a slope? Yes or no? So would a slope that's negative go up from left to right or down? So could this ever be a negative slope? So it cannot be A. Could it possibly be B? I have no idea about C and D. Do y'all agree? So where could I go? I'm going to give y'all a big hint. Look right here. Y equals. So I'm going to go to Y equals in my calculator. And I'm going to type in negative 2x. Now, hitting the graph will graph it for you, but it's really not going to show if it matches perfectly. Where else could I go? Look right above the word graph. What does it say in blue? Go to the table. So second table. It should pass through 0, 0. Well, we already know it does that. It should go 1, negative 2. Well, these don't have 1. What do these have? So go to 2. Where should it be with 2? All right. Does this say 2, negative 4? Can't be that. Does this say 2, negative 4? Now check the graph. Is there a point at 2, -4? Look right here. Yes, here's 2, -4. Yes, so it has to be B. That one, I'm not super mad if you missed, but if you picked A, you were just totally off because that was a positive slope and this was negative. All right, number 37. You should not have missed this question. Read it. It says, which numbers have a value? What's the clue word? Greater. And what number are they talking about? Who knows the value of pi? If you don't know, doesn't your calculator tell it to you? All right, write it down. 3.14. We're looking for how many answers? And they have to be bigger than 3.14. What do I need to change these to? All right, so let's go to 8/3. Math decimal enter. 266, is that greater than 3.14? No. Is 3.14 greater than 3.14? No, they're the same. 23/7. So alpha y equals 23/7. Math decimal enter. Is 3.28 greater than 3.14? Okay, so there's one answer. The square root of 9. Is 3 greater than 3.14? No. And the square root of 10. Is 3.16 greater than 3.14? Yes. Number 36. They were wrong for this question. Guys, I am not mad at you if you missed this. Okay, I do not agree with the way they asked this question, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay, I scanned it. I saw the word similar, and I saw the word slopes. Those were my clue words. It says the line on the coordinate grid includes the hypotenuse of a right triangle KLM. So does everybody see? Here's a line, and then there's a right triangle KLM. Everybody got it? Right triangle UVW is similar. So there's another right triangle that falls on this line that's similar. The vertex is at 0, -2. I want you to go graph 0, -2. So everybody go to 0, go down to -2, put a dot. And that is point W. So you see where it says vertex W? So I'm going to say, okay, this is W. The slopes of the hypotenuses are equal. So their rise over their runs are the same. Which ordered pair could be the coordinates of V? Okay, well, here's what I did. I went and said it has to look just like this. So it has to go like this. Do y'all agree? Yeah. It's either going to go up 2, right 3, or it's going to double that. Up 4, right 6, or it's going to triple that. It's got to be similar because it says it's similar. So I said, okay, well, where's -6, 4? I go to -6. I go up 4. Would that ever make a right triangle with this dot? No, it can't be that one. So then I go try 3, -4. Here's 3. Here's -4. Could that make a right triangle with that if I go here, here, here? No. So what about 0, 2? Could that be the part of the rise? Yeah. Y'all agree I could go here and rise up that much? Okay? And then let's look at 6, 2. Could that be the other point? So could it be this triangle right here? So both of these answers look good. Do y'all agree? And this is where it made me mad that they put both of them. So how do I know which one to pick? Because they said which ordered pair could represent V. So you had to find out, everybody look, eyes on the board, where is V next to, like what spot is V in for this? KLM. Does it go with K, L, or M? Say it louder, I can't hear y'all. It goes with L. So now find L over here. So which point would it be? This one or this one if it's in the L spot? It's going to be this one. So what coordinate is that at? 6, 2. So the answer was D. If you put 0, 2, you were on the right path. If you put one of these, you just didn't know what you were doing. I'm not upset with you guys if you missed that. That was a very challenging question. Okay? All right, number 38. I am very upset if you missed this one. Why? What does this for you? Y equals. So let's go get this done. So everybody go to y equals. The left side goes in y1. So that whole side of the equal sign. So I type in 2x plus 9 minus 4x. Where do I go now? Second trace, option 5. Don't touch it until it is finished. Oh, I forgot to put in the right side. X minus 12. There we go. Second trace, option 5. There we go. Enter, enter, enter. What is the intersection at? 7. Okay, I'm going to check it in a second. Okay. Number 39. This was a scatter plot. You should have drawn a trend line. So I get my ruler, and again, you'll use the straight line tool. Like that. And it wants you to make a prediction based on 45 guess. So if I look, where's 45 guess? It's on the x-axis. What are they counting by? 2. So this would be 40, 42. What would this be? 44. What would this be? 46. But I want 45 is going to be like halfway. So I go all the way up from there and all the way over. And I'm like at 46 to 48. So my answer was C. The last question was probably the easiest question on this whole thing. You should not have missed it. Look at it. It says a worker paints 4 cabinets in 8 hours. They gave you a coordinate. What is on the x-axis? Time. So which one of these is the x? 4 cabinets or 8 hours? So this is the x, this is the... So all you had to do was find which graph has that coordinate. 8 hours. Everybody go to 8 hours, go up to 4 cabinets. It's nowhere on there. Can't be A. Go to B. Go to 8 hours, go up to 4 cabinets. Is it on there? No. Go to C. Go to 8 hours, go up to 4 cabinets. It is on there. But is it the answer? No, because it's not showing a rate. It's saying that it doesn't matter how much time you have, you'll always have 4. So it had to be D. Go to 8 hours, go up to 4. Yes, it is. So that was the answer. Okay, make sure your name is on your paper. Pass it to the right.